Hello everyone, my name is Anisha Roy. I am an intern at Lexus & Company, and today in this video I'll be discussing about a complete overview over Public Service Commission in India. So let's proceed. So we know that to uphold the wide range of aspirations of people with the administration of India, a full-fledged Public Service Commission was needed, and its existence however can be traced for the first time in India on October 1st, 1926, when the Central Public Service Commission was established under the Government of India Act 1919 as per the recommendations of Lee Commission that was constituted in 1923. It granted a mere limited advisory function, and it consisted at that time of 4 members in addition to a chairman. So it was later on it was renamed as the Federal Public Service Commission with the introduction of Government of India Act 1935 on 1st April 1937. Okay. So talking about the historical background as to how this Public Service Commission came into picture, so we can discuss. Like, it originated years back when the report of the Select Committee replaced patronage-based recruitment of civil servants with merit-based system. Hence, for the first time, Civil Service Commission was set up in London, and Indianization of also Police Service Commission. It also continued to be very slow. It was also seen that, and from 1939 onwards, due to lack of capable European candidates, more Indians became appointed to the Indian police. And later on, the Imperial Forest Service, it was also constituted in 1867, and independent Indian constitution, it also gave the Federal Public Service Commission a constitutional status, and it is started to be known as the Union Public Service Commission when the Indian constitution came into existence. And later on, the Indian Forest Service, it was also created in 1966 under All India Service Act 1951. So this was all about the historical background of Public Service Commission. Now let's proceed as to what are the constitutional mandates regarding the Public Service Commission. So the Constitution of India, it requires that every state should have its own Public Service Commission, but it is also for the administrative and financial reasons. If it is not possible, then the 2 or more states can have a common or have a joint Public Service Commission, and this is also a mandate that a joint Public Service Commission could be established. So, and regarding the composition of the State Commission, it is governed by the same constitutional provisions that apply to the Union Public Service Commission. And if chairman is found to lack integrity, transparency, or is adjudged and insolvent, or engages into any office of profit in any paid employment outside the duties of his office, and or is in the opinion of the President unfit to continue in the office by reason of infirmity of mind, body, or if he involves in impartiality and misbehavior, then he could be removed. So this is all about the chairman and how he can be removed. Now the member of the commission can or cannot be reappointed to the office on the expiry of their term, and nor they are eligible for any other employment under the central or the state government on the expiry of his term of office. And this is written in section in article 316 clause 3. And regarding that, members can also not be appointed as the chairman of they can however be appointed as the chairman of the Union Public Service Commission or the State Public Commission, but a member of any commission can submit his resignation at any time to the President of India, and a member can hold office for 6 years or until he attains, in case of UPSC, the age of 65 years, or in case of State Commission, the age of 60 years, and whichever is earlier, then he will be resigned or he can be removed. And the expenses of the UPSC, it is charged on the Consolidated Fund of India. It is basically responsible for the appointments and the examination of the All India services of civil central services, and it is a major recruiting agency. We can say that UPSC and the state public service commissions or the joint public service commissions. And however, it is also a constitutional mandate that additional functions and additional powers can also be given to these bodies, and as an advisory body it functions as in such a manner that it advises on the matters which are specifically referred to it by the president, and it can also advise over the matters related to the regularization of appointments, granting of extension of services, and the re-employment of the retired servants. Now, regarding the independency, it is very important to note that this commission is made as an independent body. The provisions that are inscribed in the constitution, it takes care of this, and the evolved approach towards the establishment of the statutory body, the Joint Public Service Commission, can be considered that it is created by the act of the Parliament at the request of the concerned state legislature. It was a good move, and it is to note that the UPSC can also serve as the needs of the state on the request of the state governors with the approval of the president. So here we can see that all are independent of each other, and they are not governed by other body or any superior body, or they are not inferior to any other body. It is a completely statutory body, and it is a constitutional body as well. And now moving on, what are the challenges that are faced by the UPSC in the present context? So in the matters mentioned in Article 320, the consultation is necessary, but acceptance of such opinions that are given, it is discretionary. It is totally discretionary in nature. The commission is not consulted for the selection of the appointment to a central service, and the tenure of the post in the central service and the appointments which are likely to last only for a year is still excluded from the commission's purview. So this is one of the demerits, and it needed to be curbed as soon as possible. And also the proviso to Article 321, it dilutes the consultative role of the commission, and there is also a growing tendency of the ministers to bypass the advice of the commission. And in order to improve this, we can say that the focus can be made on making the commission serve as a think tank on the personal issues, and more openness, accountability, and the decentralization within the commission can help it to be in sync with the present times and the changing world. So this is all about Public Service Commission in India. Thank you.